Hello everyone, to the last section of the Algebra 2 video notes. We're going to talk about sequences and series. A sequence is a list of numbers created by a specific pattern. If you add the same thing, it's an arithmetic sequence. If you multiply by the same thing, it's a geometric sequence. But not all patterns are sequences. For example, what's the pattern for the first one? Well, every time you're adding 4, so that's arithmetic. How about for the next one? Every time you're subtracting 11 or adding a negative 11, so that's also arithmetic. For the third one, you're multiplying by 3, that's geometric. For the fourth one, multiply by 2, no, it doesn't work. Neither. Now somebody's going to say, Mr. Al, if you add 1, add 2, add 3, add 4. Yeah, that's a pattern, but you're not adding the same thing every time. And number 5, what are you multiplying by each time here? You're multiplying by 1/2. It's geometric. You could say divide by 2, but divide by 2 is the same as multiply by 1/2. Some important terms. A sub 1 means the first term, which means A sub 2 is the second, A sub 3 is the third. A sub n is the nth term, that usually means the last term. N is how many terms there are. D is what you're adding each time, it's called the common difference. Or R is what you're multiplying each time, it's called the common ratio. Here's some important formulas, and I'll give you a formula sheet in class. Just take a look at them. But the hardest part is filling out this formula. Every sequence problem we do, we're going to use one of these two formulas. Find the 25th term of 20, 18, 16, and 14. So, I want to know what A25 is. The first thing I have to know is it geometric or arithmetic? Well, I'm subtracting 2, so it's arithmetic. So my D is -2. My A sub 1 is 20. My first term is 20. And my N is 25 terms. So the formula says A sub n equals A sub 1 plus n minus 1 times D. So A sub 25, which is what I'm trying to find, is 20 plus 25 minus 1 times -2. Plug that into the calculator and you get 20 plus 25 minus 1 times -2. The 25th term is -28. Every series problem we do, or every sequence problem we do, we use a formula. Find the 6th term of this. Well, what are you doing every time? You're multiplying by 4, which makes this geometric. So I need the formula A sub n equals A sub 1 r to the n minus 1. I want to know what A sub 6 is. But I know that A sub 1 is 8, R equals 4, N equals 6. Just plug in what I know. A sub 6 equals 8, R is 4, the 6 minus 1. You plug that into the calculator, you get 8,192. Find the 10th term of this one. Well, what's is geometric? Because you're multiplying by 1/2. So A sub 10 is what I don't know. I know that A sub 1 is 4. I know that N is 10. I know that R is 1/2. So A sub 10 is equal to A sub 1 times R to the N minus 1. Which is a crazy decimal as a fraction. It's 1/128. Sometimes you have to use the formula several times and tweak it to make it fit what you need. So take a look at this. The 6th term is 33. So A sub 6 is 33. The 13th term is 54. a sub 13 equals 54. What's the common difference? And what's the first term? Well, normally the formula says a sub n equals a sub 1 plus n minus 1 times d. Well, I'm going to tweak it a little bit. I'm going to say a sub 13 equals a sub 6 plus n minus. If I use 6 instead of 1, I've got to use 6 instead of n, d. Okay? But what is n? Remember, this n and that n have to match up. So I can say a sub 13 is 54 equals a sub 6 is 33 plus n in my problem is 13 minus 6 times d. The only thing I don't know is d. If you solve for d, so I'm going to do 54 minus 33 divided by 7, I get d equals 3. Now I'm going to use the formula again with one of the things that I know. I'm going to say that a sub 13 equals a sub 1 plus n minus 1 times d. So that's 54 equals a sub 1 plus 13 minus 1 times 3. The only thing I don't know is a sub 1. A sub 1 equals, so 54 minus 36 is 18. And there's the two pieces of information I didn't know. The second term of a geometric sequence is 640, and the fourth term is 102.4. Find the common ratio in the first term. So I'm going to say that a sub 4 equals a sub 2 r to the n minus 2. So a sub 4 is 102.4. A sub 2 is 640. R to the 4 minus 2 is 2. So this is 102.4 divided by 640. Math enter. That's 0.16 equals r squared. So r must equal 0.4. So I found the r value. Now let's go back over here and say that a sub 4 equals a sub 1, r to the n minus 1. A sub 4 is 102.4 equals a sub 1 we don't know. R is 0.4. 4 minus 1 is 3. So I can solve for a sub 1. I can say that it's 102.4 divided by 0.4 to the third, and I get 1600. So I had to use the formula twice, and I had to tweak the first half of it. Series. A series is the sum of a sequence. It's a lot of S's. There's arithmetic series, that's the sum of an arithmetic sequence, and there's geometric series. There's also an infinite geometric series. A sequence is a list of numbers, but a series is only one number. It's the sum when you add them all together. S sub n is the sum of the first n terms of the sequence. So for an easy example, find S sub 7. Well, that means find the first 7 terms, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, and 13. And then add them all together. So add. 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, 49. So, are there any formulas to help with this? There sure are. So which formula do we use? It depends on what information I have. Sometimes you even have to solve a sequence problem before you can solve the series problem. And I'll give you these formula sheets in class. The arithmetic sequence 4, 7, 10, all the way to 40 has 12 terms. Find the series. So I know that a sub 1 equals 4. I know that a sub n equals 40. I know that n equals 12. So I want to find s sub 12. So I'm going to use this formula. I know all of these things. So S sub 12 is 12 divided by 2, 4 plus 40. S sub 12 is 44 times 6, 264. That one's really easy. The sum of the first 100 terms of an arithmetic sequence start like this. So I know that a sub 1 is 5. I know that n is 100. I don't know what a sub n is, but I know that d is 6 because I'm adding by 6 each time. So I'm going to use the form s sub n equals, I forget what the formula is, n over 2, 2a sub 1 plus n minus 1 times d. I think that's the formula. Yep. Plug in what I know. S of 100 equals 100 over 2. 2 times a sub 1 is 5 plus 100 minus 1 times 6. Grab your calculator and plug all that in. You get 30,200. Find S sub 6. Well, what kind of sequence is this? It's geometric. A sub 1 equals 4. R equals 5. N equals 6. So I know that it's S sub n equals a sub 1, 1 minus r to the n over 1 minus r. So S sub 6 is 4, 1 minus 5 to the 6th power over 1 minus 5. And that is 15,624. And I'm not doing it in my head, I have a calculator. Sigma notation. To really oversimplify, that sigma notation means the same thing as sum. We're going to plug in the bottom number into the formula, and that's our first term. We're going to plug in the next few numbers to get more terms. We're going to plug in the top number to get the last term. We're going to determine if it's arithmetic or geometric, and we're going to use the correct formula to solve. So let's take a look at this one. The first number I'm going to plug in is 0. 2 times 0 is 0, plus 3 is 3. What number comes after 0? 1. 2 times 1 plus 3 is 5. What number comes next? 2. 2 times 2 plus 3 is 7. Dot, dot, dot. There's the first 3 terms. What's the last term? 2 times 7 is 14, plus 3 is 17. So I know that a sub 1 is 3. I know that a sub n is 17. I know that d is 2. What's n? And a lot of people will say it's 7, but it's not. If you start counting at 0 and go to 7, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's actually 8. So I can use any S formula I want. I'm going to use this one. So S sub 8 equals 8 over 2, 3 plus 17. So that is 20 times 4 is 80. What about this one? Well, the first term, if you plug in 11, 54 minus 11 is 43. The next term would be 32. And nope, sorry. The next term would be, sorry. If you plug in 12, you get 42. The next term is 41. The last term, if you plug in 22, is going to be 54, 44, 34, 32. So a sub 1 is 43. A sub n is 32. D is negative 1. What's n? Well, how many numbers are there between 11 and 22? You want to say 11, but there's really 12 because you have to count 11 and 22. So S sub 12 is equal to 12 over 2, 43 plus 32. That is 450. What about this one? First three terms. If you plug in 0, anything to the 0 is 1, so it's 50. Plug in 1, you get 1/2 of 50 is 25. Plug in 2, you get 1/4 of 50, which is 25 over 2. That's a geometric series. So a sub 1 is 50. R is 1/2. N is 7. From 0 to 6 is 7 spaces. So S sub n is equal to a sub 1, 1 minus r to the n over 1 minus r. S sub n equals 3,175 over 32. Infinite geometric series. Some geometric series can have an infinite number of terms. If the r is between -1 and 1, then you can have an infinite series. So then the formula is a1 over 1 minus r. Does this one have an infinite series? Yeah. R is 2/3, and since 2/3 is less than 1, I can do this problem. A sub 1 is 15 over 1 minus 2/3. That's 15 over 1/3. That's 45. So the infinite series is 45. How about this one? A sub 1 is 10. R is 5/4. But wait a second. 5/4 is greater than 1. So there is no infinite sum. You can't do that problem. We're going to spend more time in class talking about these sequences and series. So if you have any questions, please ask. But remember, it all comes from the formula. Thanks, everyone.